Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another chapter of Comments from the Peanut Gallery. And have a question. I'm sure you have a question. What in the world does the record of a happening that's from, say, 6,000 years ago, how could that have any bearing on what's going on around us today? I mean, it's just, so it happened, creation, 6,000 years ago. Yeah, let's get on with it. Okay. Let's see, how do I start this? Stop signs. We had a stoplight installed several years ago on. It was new. Okay, it was new. It had been a stoplight. I had pulled up to the stoplight, and I thought, wow, this is first time I've been pulled up, and this is new. Stopped. Light turned green, and I didn't hear with my ears, but I heard, "Stay where you are, don't move." I go, what? So the traffic in front of me, there was 2 or 3 cars in front of me, they pulled ahead. I stayed where I was for maybe 3 seconds, maybe 4, and then, okay, go. So as I moved ahead, that spot that I left in front of me, between the cars that were in front of me and me, that spot, all of a sudden, I saw coming from the north, come, boom! Wow, it cruised through there at like 60 some miles an hour. But because I had stopped, instead of go, there was enough space, just enough wiggle space for it to get through. Okay, in Genesis, if you notice, there's reoccurring statements. Okay, there's in the beginning God, and he does this stuff and he that stuff. And as he gets to describing plants and stuff, he says, whose seed is in itself. Okay? Whose seed is in itself. Okay, apples, apple seeds. Oranges, orange seed. Okay? So whose seed is in itself. And then as he's talking about animals and stuff, and each after its own kind, each after its own kind, each after its own kind. And he says both of those statements are over and over and over again. Now, we've raised gardens, we've got gardens, okay, we've got trees, everything you see around me here, okay, we clear cut this back in 1990, the spring of 95, late winter, early spring. Anyhow, there was nothing here. This is all new growth. But we also have gardens and stuff. And we planted several thousand trees, pine trees and different kinds of pine. Anyhow, most of what we planted in the garden, though, was hybrid, not heirloom. Hybrid. It's been crossbred with other stuff, so it's supposed to get this fantastic yield. But it's mixing one strain of something with another, and you get, for one season you get something good. And but I was curious, people tell me, you can't plant that stuff again. You can't take the seed out of it and plant it because you never know what you're going to get. So I took some of them because I was curious. And I took the seeds out of a hybrid plant that we had gotten. In this case, it was pumpkin. And I planted them again the next season. And I got the most morphodite pumpkins that I had ever seen. They were weird. They were snow white. And there was other weird stuff about them. Okay, and what's that got to do with anything? Well, with the concoctions that people are coming up with today. And this is my opinion. I gotta say that so they don't delete this video. And they come up with this stuff that they go and go and they go and put it into little kids and put it into this and put it into that. And it has in it, it might have horse plasma, it might have monkey DNA, it might have livers from chickens, you know, that they make this stuff that they go and it's supposed to have this good, you know, this good effect. It's supposed to do this something that's awesome and amazing. Well, if you look at creation, and if you actually believe what God says, you would never do that, because the seed is in itself, and each species after its own kind. You would never intermingle horse plasma with human, you know, monkey DNA with human, or whatever, another species, and intermingle, because just like the plants, you get weird stuff, you know, weird stuff. And what do we have? The curve of stuff coming in. If you look at autism, or what's another, when they are have an allergic reaction to, and they can't eat this, and they can't eat that, and all of this stuff that's going on, and then kids that have bad that in them, and then they're having kids, and you look at so now, it used to be autism was extremely rare. Or if they had an allergic reaction, extremely rare. Or if they had, there's a name for it. Sometimes words are weird. What's the word for it? I knew it was another A word. It's allergies. People that have allergies. And they have an allergy of this, and this flower or that flower, and allergies. And when I was growing up, there was kids with, you know, that had little short arms from stuff that their mom took to escape morning sickness, you know, and they had, you know, their arms were about half as long. It was just really tough on them, you know. And we think we're smarter than God. God says, "Hey, I put this stop sign up for you. Don't do it. Don't go through there. You know, come up to it and stop. Don't go no further. You know, if you blast through a stop sign, there might be a problem. You know, might get broadsided. Might be broadsided by somebody. Even if you got in my case, a green light. And here I was. But I escaped. I was glad to have escaped when I saw that car come through there at 60 miles an hour. It's kind of funny, because as it come through, and it just missed me, and it just missed like three or four, it was wiggling through all this traffic to get, and still it was cruising. And I looked, and I'm watching it go, and it just pulls over to the side, and the driver pulled over to the side and stopped and just parked it right there, like he had to, clean his pants or something. But so in Genesis, we have stop signs, instructions on what to do, what not to do. And a person has to, in order to do and ignore all this stuff, they have to be of the mindset that all of creation came from just slid out of some pond, came out of the same pond slime. Don't know where the pond came from, but they all of creation just evolved over, with millions and billions of years, evolved, and along comes, and Man, and now we can improve on creation by taking from this species and that species and mixing it up, and then we're going to go and stick it into somebody because we know better than God, because we are so awesome. So, what does Genesis have to do with today? That's just one aspect, one tiny little segment of what's in Genesis 1, chapter 1 and chapter 2. You know, hope. I say if you can dream it, you can do it. Well, I take that from He is the God of hope. If you have a godly imagination, it's hope. If you have an ungodly imagination, it's something else. And I know I use the term, if you can dream it, you can do it. Well, mankind has dreamed a lot of things, had a lot of imaginations that they shouldn't ought to do. But they think they know better than God. Other thing that's taken place, I was kind of wondering about this, because in the mixing up of all of this DNA from other species and bringing them in and putting them inside of humans, and you can read the labels on this stuff. I mean, it's common knowledge. You know, there's chicken plasma and there's all of this other stuff and livers of this and that and monkeys and it's all, you can find out what's in these things that they shoot in. You know, they're supposed to be so amazing. And you can read it. But I wonder sometimes, knowing the reality of the new birth, that it's a total transformation of the spirit self, your spirit being. Okay, we're waiting on the earth suit to be changed into a heaven suit. Okay, but in the meantime, it's the spirit self that's born of God. Perfect and complete. Awesome. But knowing that DNA connection, and I use the term DNA because I don't have another one to describe it any better, you know, but it's the new birth, and it's real. Real. How much a certain kingdom is trying to say, oh, God, now there's this connection, this DNA connection between you and these humans, you know, and now this human's connected to a chicken. God, you know, you, God, are just a chicken, or you are just a monkey, or you, because there's a connection. I don't know why people do what they do, or especially when it makes no sense to me that they would do this. I mean, I tried it with a pumpkin, and I realized this is really bad. The first time you might get something good, but you take that same stuff, and we got generation after generation after generation where they've been doing that to it. And who knows what in the world is, what in the world grows in the garden. God said, hey, don't be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. I don't want monkey plasma in me. No freaking way. Anyhow, if you can dream it, you can do it, and enjoy the journey as you go.